Well, that looks crooked. That's more crooked. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see here. That's pretty straight. Oops, wrong way. Alrighty. It's still crooked. So I have to go up. There we go. All right, hello everyone. I should get something on the screen so you have something to look at. Okay. We'll put this up there. We'll just give everyone just a minute to find the video. Because, you know, it's Thursday, late afternoon. Well, that's nice to hear, Karen. I like doing the videos. It is a lot of fun. And the calendar series has been so popular. I'm very happy with how it's going, and everyone seems to be loving it. But I know a lot of people will watch this on replay. So I am just going to get started, and we'll let people tune in as we go. So we've been doing this calendar series since January. And I'm happy to announce that we will be continuing it in the new year. So 2024, we will start off a new year. And I have a feeling we're going to get some people from our planner group because we are ending our planner journey. And I know that some of those people are going to be moving over into the calendar series. Plus, I'm sure we'll pick up some new people that want to start like kind of at the beginning of the year. So I hope you guys will all join us again next year. But yes, we are definitely continuing it next year. I've already got product ordered and it has arrived for January. So I will be designing December along with January very soon. And so I don't think I'm going to go through, you know, how the calendar can work. I think most of you know moving forward from the other months, but sorry, I'm reading comments. I cannot read and talk at the same time. But this is the November page. So just a quick little recap. You can use this as a 2-page spread for your album, the way that you see it right here. So I hope Melissa says she should probably get started on this year since she hasn't touched 1 month. Oh, Melissa, you don't know what you're missing. You need to do it. Yeah, so this can go right into your album as a 2-page layout. And you can just do 1 page per month for the whole year. And then you basically have a snapshot of your year in the form of an album. You can take this just as a single page and use it as a scrapbook layout for your album. And it will have nothing to do with the calendar at all. Or you can place this part in a blank calendar. We just got a restock on them. So this would be the top of your calendar where normally like a picture in a calendar would go. And then the bottom part would look something like this, that you could do this on, or you can just leave it and you can give that calendar as a gift or keep it for yourself, whatever you like. So it's a very flexible option. And I know everybody tackles it a different way. So, you know, however you're doing it, you know, I'm hoping you're loving it. I pretty much, like my whole goal is going to be to put it in an album. And I'm thrilled because I actually have, after this month, I have 11 months that I have scrapbooked that I wouldn't have got done otherwise. And mostly everything about the month has been included on my pages. So I don't feel like I'm leaving a lot of things out. And if I wanted to, I could do a layout and insert it in between the calendar pages as the month goes on if there's something that I need to scrapbook. So what I did realize about November is that I did not have a lot of photos. So poor Amanda and her family were very sick last November, like for 3 weeks. It was just one thing after another in their household. So I didn't really get a lot of photos from her. And, you know, it's that transition from being outside to being inside. And it's just a very, very busy month at the store. So I just didn't have a lot of photos. But I did have one event that took place. And it happens to be featuring Jason. So this was a year ago. And as you all know, he's recovering from knee surgery, but he installed a piece of slat wall behind our counter in our store. And Liam happened to be at the store when he came, and he was very excited to see his uncle, and he helped him out. So I did do a little photo shoot with them when they were there, and that's kind of what's featured over on this side. And of course, it's always a big month for Jason with his Movember campaign, and so we've got him there with his mustache. And then we went to a crop. Amanda was at the hospital because she was pregnant with Olivia, so that got covered. And then Owen has a mustache on for school. So he's got one painted on his little face there. And then poor Jason's apartment was being sprayed, and they had to get their cat out of there. So he brought the cat to the store until he could take her back. And that's how he brought her in. Into the store. It was just at the end of the day, and so there was nobody there, but the poor little cat was in there. So that kind of captured our whole month. That was it. And there wasn't a whole lot more that was going on. So this page worked out great for me. So as you can see, we are working in sort of a wreath format over here. And this is very on trend right now. And so I thought I would incorporate that into the layout, which I really enjoyed doing. And you will see that we did some stenciling with some inking over top. Oh, yeah, the boys did have stashes today. Yep, last day in November, they had to, they didn't have to, they could have a mustache going to school today. So yes, Amanda posted some cute photos of them. Yeah, so did a little stenciling and inking there, which I'm going to demo for you. And something different for the photos on this side of the page this month, I actually ended up collaging 6 photos together and just printed it in a 4x6 format for this side of the page and just plunked it right in that space. And then just a few one-offs over here. So all in total, we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 photos are featured in this one layout, which is awesome. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go over the bundle. And just a reminder, the bundles don't go live on our page until after I am done the launch party, which I am going to populate that category as soon as I'm done. I have it on the bottom of my notes so I don't forget, because Shelby is busy and she won't be able to do it. So as soon as I log off, after this, I'm going to populate the video, or sorry, populate the category, and then they will appear in the special section right on our online store. And that will make it easy for you to find. You love the mat? So do I. Oh my gosh, I do love the mat. For the video, I wish there was no printing on it, but this is on my desk all the time now, and I love it. It's so amazing. It cleans up so nicely after have been working, and it's nice to write on. It's just super fun. So I love the mat too. Judy says she loves it as well. So do you two have the mat? Because we have them in stock. It's a new product for us. It's a silicone mat, and it's a nice big size. It's so nice to work on. Oh my gosh, I do love it. How do we sign up for the start of January? Judy, you don't have to sign up for the start. This is a monthly thing, so you just have to watch for the lives. We try to do them the same time each month. So the week after our Click and Save sale, we launch the calendar bundle. So sometime the week after, I will do the live. I go ahead and announce that I'm going to do it, and then after this, the kits go up, and then you can go on and buy. So it's first come, first serve, and they've been selling out every month. So you usually have a few days for sure, and then they'll disappear. So you just want to kind of be watching and know that that it is coming up. You can put in a little alarm in your phone to start, keeping an eye on things. I can't say exactly which day I'm going to do it every time, because that's not how my schedule operates, but I try my best to be consistent. So you don't have to sign up. I thought about doing that, but it's just too hard with product and trying to get everything on time. I thought this is just keeps it flexible. So just keep your eyes on our Facebook page and emails, and you should be good. Okay, so this month's bundle is from Echo Park, and it's called Good to Be Home. And you're going to get a couple of really great pattern papers. You're going to get the full 12 by 12 sticker sheet, a sheet of white, and you're going to get some enamel dots. Now, there are a few add-ons, not too many this month. So I went a little easy on you. Now, I can't promise that for December. So just remember that when December's comes up. So there's a few add-ons that you might be interested in, and I'll run through those with you. And they are also in the special section right on our online store. You'll see calendar series icon, and then in there's an icon for each month, and you'll want to go to November. The bundle will be there after the live, as well as the add-ons that we have talked about today. So I'll get back to this in just a minute. We'll go through the measurements and stuff with you. But as far as add-ons go, if you're going to do the layout like I'm doing it here, where you're going to need that calendar page like this, that is an add-on. So we don't put these in every kit because not everyone is using it as a calendar. So we did not want to put this in there and have it be wasted. So we have it as an add-on. So if you want to do that, then you'll want to make sure that you snag one of these. I just put in a big order for paper for next year. So that is available now. So that is the calendar page. And then, of course, we are featuring the salvaged brick stencil again. A lot of you probably already have this because we have used it on so many different projects. Calendars, layouts, cards, all kinds of things. We've sold hundreds and hundreds of them, and we have more coming. So I think it's out of stock right now, but we have more on the way. Any other brick stencil you have may work as well. This one is a very small brick impression, so it's a little bit unique. But if you have a bigger one, that will work too. So any kind of brick stencil, you can really switch it up to any kind of stencil at all. It doesn't have to be brick. We featured the brick. The reason I love the brick is in this particular area here, this is kind of like a front hallway scene. So you've got your bench and your little shelf above it and the brick wall behind, but could be a front porch. It could be, you know, whatever. We just got that real home feeling going. So the brick works really well, but you can switch it up to whatever you like. Texture paste. So this month I'm using the Ranger texture paste in the opaque matte finish. We've used Gina K in the past, so that will work as well. There's many other types of texture paste on the market. So if you've got some in your stash, it's great. If you want to try something new, this is a really nice one. We did a giveaway using a sparkle one, and I did a live on that earlier in the week, and it's really fun to use. So if you don't have a great texture paste, this is a good one, and that's the one I'm using this time around. Then we're also going to use the Gina K Medium Spruce ink. Now, Shelby uploaded a few different brands of ink in similar colors. So if you don't have this one, you can look and see what our recommendations are as far as other brands go. And of course, you can always switch it up to a different color if you'd like. But we do ink blending over top of the brick in this area here, and then also in the two areas on the calendar part as well. And then I also stamped my calendar numbers using that color as well. So that's the Medium Spruce from Gina K. And then we're also featuring the Winsor & Newton ink again. Pretty much every time we splatter, we use this. So I've got the black, and this time I am using the gold as well. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I can see if I can pull it up here and see if we can get some of it showing on the camera, but you can kind of see there's a bunch of it kind of in this area. And it is metallic, so it does have a little bit of shimmer and shine to it. It's quite nice. And it mixed in really nicely with the black. So black and gold this time around. And then the die cuts for the month. We have little bags of the letters that we are using for the header on the calendar. So that's a separate add-on for that. And then we've got a sanding block, and we've got walnut stain distress ink and an ink applicator. And then I use this month stamp each month. So that'll be in that area as well. And there's also one from Lawn Fawn that we include too, because it has the date on it as well. So if you want to add the date to your calendar part, you can do that. And then this one we have also featured before. It is the Sparkle City stamp set from Chamel. And I am using the heart from this set this month just to do some, what do I call it? Stamping off. So I'll show you how I did that technique. So there's that. And then you'll just need a black ink pad for stamping the numbers. And that is it. So not a lot of crazy add-ons, probably a lot of things you already have. And so that's pretty easy. And now what I'm going to do is go over the cutting and the photos for you, just so you can make note of that. So when you get your bundle, you are going to get a bag with the materials in it, but it'll also have a label on it, and the label will have a QR code on it. So the QR code, you can just scan that with your phone or your tablet, and then it will, a link will pop up and it'll bring you right back to this video. So you don't have to go searching through our videos trying to find it, because if you're a year behind like Melissa, there's a lot of videos to go through. So if you just scan that QR code, it'll take you right back to this video and you can watch it when you're ready to assemble. So then you can make notes, you could pause, take screenshots, whatever you need to do in order to do that. So I'm just going to walk you through the measurements now, and that way you'll be able to follow along when you get your package. So this is the 3x4 journaling card paper. So there's journal cards on one side, but we're going to focus on this side of the paper. So this side of the paper is used as the border around the background on our layout. And then it's also used to mat one of the photos. And then it's also used for a header on the top of the calendar page. So just 3 different pieces from that. So I've shown other months where I cut the center out, and I just have sort of like a frame there. So I'll demo how to do that. This time around, I say that you can leave a 1-inch border. I did a 3/4 inch border because depending on how accurate you are in your cutting, you need a 10-inch piece for this this banner to go edge to edge. So if you're not really accurate, then you might find that you're off a little bit on that piece. So I did only a 3/4 inch border on mine. But if you're really good with your cutting, you can definitely do a 1-inch border. But I'll show you how I did that in a few minutes. Okay, so that does that border piece. And then you're going to cut a 2-inch by 10-inch piece for the top of the calendar, which I just showed you. And then a piece that measures 3¼ by 4¼ to mat the photo that goes here. Now, again, if you switch up your photo size, or you, go this way versus this way, and it's a little bit different size, whatever you want, you've got lots of extra paper here to mat that picture. Okay, so that is what we use this paper for. So if you're careful, if there's things on this side that you want to use that are sort of in the center, if you're careful with your cutting, you can utilize some of those as well. So that's that. And then the white cardstock, what you're going to do is you're going to cut it down to 11½ by 11½. But then what you're going to do is you're going to draw a circle on your paper, and I'll demo that in a few minutes. And that is just going to give you a guideline for this wreath, okay? Because I didn't freehand this. There's no way that I would get it straight. So I will show you my little technique for that. So that's what you're going to do with the white paper. And then the stickers are obvious. You're going to place them all over the place. I'll point some of those out in a few minutes. And then this one here, you're basically going to cut out the signs. So this one is called Life is So Sweet, and it is filled with all of these little signs. So what I did when I was creating the pages, I just cut them all out and I made them into piles because they are repetitive. So you'll see Oh Happy Day here with green, and then somewhere else on the page it's blue, and then it's blue over here, and it might be light blue somewhere else. So I just cut them up, and then on a tray I just sort of organized them so that I had them all kind of sorted out. And then when I was making my wreath, I was able to sort of sort them out as I went along and make sure that, you know, things were next to each other that were exactly the same. And it kind of balances out the color a little bit more too. Now you have the benefit of looking at the photo that's included in the bundle when you get it, or going back and looking at this video and not having to sort that out yourself. But I just found it easier just to cut them all out, make them piles, and then you can kind of go from there. There was a few that didn't really apply. What was one of them? Oh yeah, Hot and Fresh Out of the Kitchen. I didn't use that one because I wasn't doing anything with baking or anything. There was another one that was kind of a little bit weird that I just didn't. Oh, Lovin' from the Oven. So again, you might be doing some baking or something or in November and it might work, but it did not really work for my photos, so I didn't use that. Now, Lovin' from the Oven, that would have worked in December when Amanda had her baby. But she wasn't quite there yet. So yeah, so that is how you're going to use those papers for measuring. Now for photos, I'm just going to go over what I did here. So on this page here, the photos, it's a 4x6 photo print here. And I just used an app on my phone, and I made a collage, and then I just printed it as the collage, and I didn't bother cutting it up. I just left it that way. So I put 6 photos in there, so they're about 2 inches by 2 inches each. And then what I did was in the app, you're often given the option to have borders or no borders. So I left the borders so that it separated the pictures, and then along the edges, I just sanded the edges with my sanding block. So that's how I did that one. Now you can put a series of photos here if you want to. You can make a different collage. So if you have less photos or more photos that you want to include, it's a fun way to do that. So the app that I use, oh, I always forget. I think it's called PicFrame. I can't look on my phone because it's recording this video, but I think it's called PicFrame. It was free when I got it, but I don't know that it is anymore. So a lot of the apps now have like monthly subscriptions. And I have an iPhone, so I don't know if they have that for Android or not, but I'm sure there are photo collage apps available, and they all have, you know, similar collage options. So just sort of investigate that for yourself. I use the collage option all the time. That's how I get all the small photos. Like here, I would have done a collage probably with some of the photos on the other page, and then just cut them out. And I just kind of work with whatever sizes I have. It's just fun to switch them up, and it's really appealing to look at photos that are different sizes. And plus, it's a great way to get more photos on your page as well. So that's how I did this one. And then these photos here at the top, these are 2 inch by 2 inch photos. And I just sanded the edges, and then I just popped this one up and just sort of layered them over top of each other. And then over on this page, all of these ones here, the 4 photos that are in the wreath, are about 1.5 by 2 inches. So mine are all horizontal. I felt the way that I had the wreath laid out, it worked out well. But if you have vertical photos, they'll work too. You'll just sort of adjust how you've got your signs placed, and it will work. So, and then this one in the center is a 3 by 4 photo. And again, I sanded the edges on all of the photos just so that they look a little distressed, and I just love doing that. So that's what I did with that. So that is all the measurements that I used. Now I did do some distressing on this paper here with an edge distressor. I did not pull that out. So I have 2 options for edge distressing. I have this one here. It's from a Tim Holtz tonic combination. And basically you just take this on the edge of your paper and you just pull back. And inside here, there's a little razor. So it kind of like chews up your paper a little bit. and gives you that sort of distressed look. And then I added a little bit of ink to the edges, and it just kind of makes it stand out a little bit more. I mean, you could go to town and distress everything if you want to, but I just did the photo mat for that. And what was I just going to say? I think that's it. Just looking at my notes here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to demo how to cut that center out, just because we're always getting new people watching and not everybody knows how to do that. So I usually cut with a guillotine trimmer, and you cannot do this technique with a guillotine trimmer, because a guillotine trimmer will cut all the way through your paper right from the edge. So you need a trimmer that has some sort of slide blade on it, and preferably one that has a stop and start. Like a rotary trimmer doesn't really work either. It can work, but it's tricky. So really you want that point on your blade where you can stop and start at a certain spot. And I find that works the best. So I'm going to grab the green paper, which is the journal card paper. And the first thing I'm going to do is, get rid of these sticky notes. And I'm going to cut off the barcode. So I just put my paper edge on 12 inches and then get rid of that. And then what I'm going to do, so my trimmer has measurements on both sides of the cutting blade. So I know if I put the edge over to 3/4 of an inch, I'm going to be starting in 3/4 of an inch from the edge of my paper. Now, if you don't have that option, just use this side of the paper and come back 3/4 of an inch from the 12-inch mark, and that will extend your paper over on this side. And then what you want to do is you want to start your cutting blade 3/4 of an inch down from the top. I'm going with 3/4 of an inch. You can go with an inch if you want. It depends how precise you are. Okay, and then I'm going to pull it all the way down, but I want to stop 3/4 of an inch from the bottom of the page as well. So don't cut all the way through. Okay, so we're just going to come down to 3/4 of an inch here. And then we're going to rotate and do this on all 4 sides. And then ideally, what's going to happen is the center is going to pop out of your paper. And you don't really see where your lines are intersecting here. So if it's a little bit messy, it doesn't matter because your white paper is going to cover it all up. The important part is to cut straight. And then that way, the piece that pops out here will be square and you have nice straight edges. And you get more use out of it. Okay, so this is just going to pop right out of the center here. And now this piece is no longer wasted paper, because if we just put the white paper over top of that whole sheet, this is all wasted, but now you get to use all of this paper. This is your frame, and what you're going to do is cut down your white piece. Now I'm going to pull in my guillotine trimmer. The thing I don't like about the trimmer that I was just using is that when you cut with it, there is a drag on the blade, and you get like a little lip on your paper. And I really don't like that. So I prefer to use a guillotine trimmer myself. And that's why I'm switching out, because I'm going to make sure that I have very smooth edges. Okay, and we're going to cut this down to 11.5 by 11.5. And you want to do this first before you start creating your page, because you have to draw that circle as a guide for your wreath. And you want to make sure that you're getting that circle in the right spot. Now, the one disadvantage of a guillotine trimmer is that it takes up a lot of room. But I've adjusted to that, so I'm not worried. Okay, so here's our white sheet of paper. Now, to get our circle, what you need to find is something that is around 8.5 inches. Now, I don't have a technical tool. I am using a bowl. I went and grabbed an oversized soup bowl, and I'm going to flip it over, and that is going to work great for me. So you may have a mixing bowl that you have in your kitchen, or the lid of a pot, maybe a small dinner plate, but you want it to be about 8.5 inches. Okay, so that gives you space on either side of the lines and top and bottom. Okay, so you basically want to center it. Now, it's not permanent. So if you have to veer off of your guideline a little bit when you're putting your page together, it's not a problem. This just gives you a general idea of where you're going to be putting your signs when you're creating your page. So I'm just going to take this and draw my circle, and I'm going very lightly. I didn't have to erase any pencil lines when I did my page because I ended up covering them all up. But if you have to, if you push really hard with your pencil, it's hard to get those marks out. Even if you're using a really good white eraser, you kind of indent your page and then it's not great. So, and up here, my circle didn't connect exactly 100%. It doesn't matter. You're only going to use it as a guide. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take your frame that you have and your piece of paper, and you're going to adhere those together. So it gives you a nice frame all the way around your layout. Okay, and then on the back, you will see that there's a hole, but on the front, you don't see that at all. Okay, so then what you're going to do from here is you're going to go ahead and arrange all of those signs and your photos the way that you want them. Now, you have some options. If you want to splatter before you do that, you can. The only thing that's going to happen is that when you do your texture paste, you're going to cover up your splatter. And I wouldn't recommend doing the texture paste first because you don't know 100% where all of your pieces are going to wind up. I did it at the end. Once I had this all in place, I did my texture paste, then I splattered, let it dry, and then I came back in and did my embellishing. So we've got enamel dots and some stickers and stuff. And you'll notice that I have splatter on my stickers too, and even on my photos. So I waited until the very end to splatter, and I was okay with getting a little bit of splatter on my photos and on the stickers. It just kind of adds to the look of the page. But if you don't want to do that, you just have to sort of decide at what stage you want to do your splattering. Maybe you want to chance it and do your texture paste first before you put all this down. I just wanted to make sure that I had everything in place before I did that. So that's how you kind of go about doing the wreath. And some of the things I have popped up and some of them I have flat. Some of my photos are popped up and some of them are flat. So whatever appeals to you when you're putting your page together, that's what you should go with. If you want to zoom in and see which ones I popped up, you are more than welcome to do that. But I feel like if you think it looks like it needs to be popped up, then pop it up. If not, then lay it flat, whatever works for you. And same thing, I added in some of the stickers for the houses here, and I popped them all up, but if you prefer them flat, then that's okay too. I did add in some stickers here and here. And then on the other page, which is where? Right here. The house is popped up, but this is flat. I've got some things popped up here, here, and here. And then I even popped up a photo as well. So just create some dimension on some things. I think it really adds to it. Some months I've popped the title up here for the November for the month, but others I've laid it flat. So to have variation is okay too. All right, so that is that. Now I am going to demo how to do the texture paste, but I'm going to do that last because I don't have a bin of water and I don't want my stencil to dry with the paste on it. But the other thing I'm going to demo, what did I say I was going to demo? Oh, was the stamping off. So when I did the stamping, I'll show you what I did for stamping first of all, because it's very faint, so you don't see a lot of it. And that's the idea. It's just a very faint sort of embellishment, and you'll notice it's just the heart that you'll see sort of shadowed in a few spots around the layout. So it doesn't jump out at you, but you'll notice it. So you're almost just like kissing it on there. And then I have it also in a few spots around the wreath area. But it's very faint. It's not going to jump out at you. And how I achieve that is by using, oops, wrong drawer, is by using a small acrylic block And this stamp set here, I'm just going to grab that solid heart. Now this is a very inexpensive stamp set, so it's got some pretty cool icons on it. I like some of the things. It's good to have like numbers that you can use, and then there's just a few little quotes, and like there's a little car and an airplane, a coffee mug, a camera. So you can do the same sort of technique just with some of those other stamps. And then we're going to grab the ink. So whatever ink color you're using, I'm just going to pick up my stamp here. And what you're going to do is you're just going to ink up your stamp, and then just on a scratch piece of paper, you stamp off once, and then pretend this is my layout. Then you go ahead and stamp on your layout. So when you stamp off the first time, it's quite dark. So if you want a darker look, go ahead and stamp directly onto your layout. But I stamp off on a piece of paper, and then this is the look that I get when I stamp on my layout. Okay, so it's a much more subtle and softer look. So I just did that randomly around the page for some added interest. Okay, so now let's do the texture paste. So I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of white cardstock. Actually, I don't even have, well, I guess I have cardstock. It's better to work on cardstock, I guess. I didn't do that ahead of time. Sorry about that. And of course I have to find a scrap. Here we go. Oh, that's not very big. It's a real scrap. Hang on. One moment. Okay, here we go. So this is a scrap. All right, here we go. And then I'm going to grab my stencil and my texture paste and my palette knife. Okay, so that's what you need to apply texture paste. So basically you're just going to decide where you want your texture paste to go and put your stencil kind of in that position. So on the layout part, what I wanted to have happen was I wanted my photo to kind of be down in the corner here, and I wanted the texture paste to come out around the photo. Okay, so I mean, I had my photo mounted on the piece for matting, and I just sort of, you know, put a couple little light pencil lines kind of where the corners were. And then that kind of gives you a guide. And then you're going to lay your stencil down onto your paper. And the thing that you want to be careful of is that you don't want to go to the edges, because see how the edges are very sharp? You want your stenciled area to look like this, where it's very jagged and sort of, it sort of fades out. It's not a harsh, like boxy look. So when you do that, you just want to make sure you grab your texture paste. Now this is like frosting, like whipped frosting is kind of the consistency of it. And you just start dragging that through the stencil. You're going to do a much bigger area than I am here. And make sure you're using the edge of your palette knife to pick up any extra texture paste. You don't want it to be on there really bulky. And then just move down and so on until you get the coverage that you want. So then when you peel it up, you're going to end up with a design kind of like this. Now this will need to dry, and then you'll go in with your ink, and you'll just ink blend like you do on anything else. And you're just going to ink blend right over top of that texture paste, and it's going to turn out beautiful. And you do that for the calendar side of the paper as well. So there is the green that I've ink blended over top of the texture paste, and you can see how it just picks up that color so nicely. And then same thing with these two areas here. So I kind of kept it within this box, but I didn't make it boxy looking. You can see that the edges are sort of ragged, which is nice. And this one is more vertical because I was trying to create that scene that goes up and down. And then I just ink blend right over top. It doesn't take too long to dry as long as you scrape off everything nice and close to the stencil, and then just leave it for a little while. Go have dinner or whatever, and then you should be able to come back and do your ink blending. So the thing that is so appealing about this particular stencil is if you look at the way the brick pattern goes when you when you use it. They're not perfect bricks. Some of them, it looks like the mortar on it is kind of oozing out, or it didn't go on completely smooth, which is really cool. And it's just such a fun little stencil. And you can see that the brick pattern is very tiny. So it just makes a great backdrop for almost anything. Okay, so that is it. That is all I have to show you. I demoed the paste, talked about inking. I went over the photo and the cutting, talked about add-ons. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to go right away, and I'm going to add quantities to the calendar product online, and then that will make it show up in that section for you. And then you can go ahead and order. And I just wanted to remind you that the bundles will not be ready for pickup tomorrow. We have to get those labels printed and onto the bags. So early next week, so Tuesday when we reopen, you can come and pick up, and if you want things shipped or whatever, you can just let us know. So we just need that little bit of extra time to get those things ready, but you can go ahead and order anytime. So I'm gonna sign off and get that done, and then I'm gonna go put my stencil in some water and clean it off. Anyways, ladies, happy crafting, and we'll see you soon.